Welcome to the Reginald F. Lewis Museum's Digital Kwanzaa program for 2023. Kwanzaa is a time of learning, family, and celebration. This year, the museum decided to provide a digital Kwanzaa program for our school groups, young ones, and families to learn about this cultural celebration. We will use the museum's collection of objects and artwork to define the 7 principles that make up Kwanzaa. Now, this program will be presented to you by education artist, culture queen, and drum Dr. Dot. Why is it important to celebrate Kwanzaa? Well, I'm happy you asked. Kwanzaa helps us think about what it means to be part of the Black community in America and throughout the diaspora. Kwanzaa helps us intentionally celebrate and remember our ancestors and our past. While Kwanzaa begins on December 26th and ends January 1st, at the Lewis Museum you can celebrate this heritage year-round. So join us today and for the rest of this month as we tour our collection with you while learning about Kwanzaa, a cultural celebration. We wish you a very happy Kwanzaa and a happy New Year.
Hi everyone, it's Culture Queen, and I'm on the scene today at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum with
Drum Dr. Dot.
And we're here to help you celebrate Kwanzaa, an African American holiday that celebrates family, culture, and community. 1, 2, here we go. Habari Gani, what's the news? The Kwanzaa spirit lives in you. Umoja, Ujima, Kumba, and Nia, Ujama, Imani, and Kujijakalia. With these 7 principles combined, we are the spirit of Kwanzaa time. Harambe, Harambe, let's pull together. Say it 7 times to make our world better. Harambe, 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 Harambe. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. What is Kwanzaa, and how do we celebrate this amazing African American holiday? Well, Kwanzaa is celebrated December 26th through January 1st. 7 whole days to celebrate. And it was created in 1966 as an African American holiday to celebrate our people, our heritage, and our struggle and our culture. And during Kwanzaa, we gather together to give thanks for the first fruits of the harvest, because Kwanzaa means first fruits. Kwanzaa is a Swahili word, which is one of the many languages spoken on the continent of Africa. And you will hear many Swahili words today when we speak about Kwanzaa, its language, its holiday, and the principles. But before we get ready to celebrate Kwanzaa, the first thing we do is we decorate our homes in the colors of our favorite holiday and the symbols. So, the colors of Kwanzaa are red, black, and green. Do you know what those colors mean? Wait, I feel a song coming on. Ready? 1, 2, here we go. There's a flag that we fly high. It makes me feel black pride inside. Red, black, and green. Do you know what those colors mean? Red stands for the blood. Try that with me. Here we go. Say, red stands for the blood. Okay, good. You got it. Everyone say, black stands for the people. Go. Black stands for the people. And green stands for the land. Go. Green stands for the land. So when you put it together, we've got all of our movements to help us remember the colors of Kwanzaa. Red stands for the blood, and black stands for the people, and green stands for the land, and green stands for the land. Try it again. Red stands for the blood, and black stands for the people, and green stands for the land, and green stands for the land. Yes. And when we set up the Kwanzaa table, we set up the Kwanzaa table with the mkeka, which means the mat that represents our foundation. And we've got to have lots of fruits and vegetables. Want to know why? Because Kwanzaa is actually a Swahili word that means first fruits of the harvest. So you get to have all of your favorite fruits and vegetables. And we've also got to have muhindi. Muhindi is the corn, and corn represents the children or the future of our history and our family. And you can put at least 2 ears of corn on the table because it represents your future, or however many children you have in your family. And then don't forget the star of the show, the Kinara. The Kinara is the candle holder, and it has 7 candles, one for every day of Kwanzaa. Our Kwanzaa principles of the Nguzo Saba, each one represents a special principle, and we're going to learn about those today. So, and as Kwanzaa gets closer, we celebrate with dancing and drumming, and we make special gifts called zawadi, handmade gifts from my heart to yours, or you can buy them from a Black-owned store in your community. So this is our Kwanzaa table, and oh, how are we not going to forget our bandera, which is our red, black, and green flag, and our Kumba cha umoja, our unity cup, which we use when we honor our ancestors to pour libations. So now that we've learned about all of the principles of Kwanzaa, or at least the symbols, let's get ready to learn about the principles. Are you ready? Let's go. Umoja, umoja, I want you to remember. Umoja means unity to keep our people strong. Umoja means to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. And on this first day of Kwanzaa, we celebrate by thinking of family. Here is a collection of photographs that tells the story of Black people together in the Turner Station community here in Maryland. This community represents unity and togetherness. What do you see or notice in these images? Take a deep look. I see a Black community that includes examples of things that help communities to grow and be strong. I see young people and old people, or seasoned people. I see towns that have baseball teams and Boy Scouts and movie theaters and church activities. I see a couple sitting in a nice car, and Turner Station was a community fondly remembered for its family values, its strong family values. So when you think of unity or umoja, what is one thing that you can do to bring your family together? The second day of Kwanzaa is Kuchi-cha Kulia. Woo, that's a mouthful. Let's practice. Say it with me. Kuchi-cha Kulia. Try it again. Kuchi-cha Kulia. And that means self-determination. Speaking of self-determination, the king of self-determination is my favorite, Matthew Henson, Arctic explorer from Charles County, Maryland. And what do you notice about him? Well, in this picture, I'll tell you one thing. He was an explorer who helped to discover the North Pole. Traveling all the way to the North Pole from Charles County, Maryland, for the first time was traveling, like traveling to space, or exploring the moon, or even Mars. And he tried many, many times before he actually got there over many years. Before he grew up to become an explorer, Matthew Henson lived in Charles County, Maryland, Nanjemoy, Maryland to be exact, and he was also an orphan. And he grew up to travel around the world and finally to his really coolest destination, the uncharted territory of the North Pole. So he had many dreams, and he didn't let anything get in the way of stopping him. What do you believe about yourself? And what do you want people to know about you? You know, Matthew Henson was the true personification of self-determination, Kuchi-cha Kulia. And you know, my friend, Drew Anderson, he wrote a song about Matthew Henson, and it goes like this. Onward and forward, I'm representing Matthew Henson. If he could reach the North Pole, surely you could achieve your goals. Onward and forward. I'm representing Matthew Henson. If he could reach the North Pole, surely you could achieve your goals.
Hey, boys and girls, don't you know that you're like diamonds and pearls? Hey, boys and girls, one day you're gonna rule the world. Don't try to grow up too fast. Children, slow your roll. You've got the rest of your life. Your story's waiting to unfold. Getting smart and talking back, you know that's never correct. Treat your parents and your teachers with the utmost respect. You've got to stay in school. You've got to play by the rules. I know that you can do it. God gave you the tools. Will it be tough sometimes? Oh, you better believe it. But that doesn't mean that you cannot achieve it. We understand peer pressure. We were once young too. Your so-called friends try to get you to do things that you're not supposed to do. Take a puff off that smoke. Let's play hooky from school. You got to tell them my mama didn't raise no fool. Wash the dishes, clean your room, take out the trash, hang up the phone. We want to make sure that you can take care of yourself when you get grown. Hey, boys and girls, don't you know that you're like diamonds and pearls? Hey, boys and girls, one day you're gonna rule the world. Stay focused on your path, no matter what path you choose. If you strive to do your best, you can never lose. A preacher, a teacher, entrepreneur, carpet sweeper, and inspector, bill collector, postal worker, social worker, a writer, prize fighter, politician, musician, first moon resident, female president, CIA on a secret mission. Hey, boys and girls, don't you know that you're like diamonds and pearls? Hey, boys and girls, one day you're gonna rule the world. Don't you know that you carry the light? Don't you know that your future is bright? Study hard, your own future you'll write. Reach for the goals with all your might. Show the world that you know wrong from right. That you know how to act, how to be polite. You're a pure potential, pure delight. Keep your head on straight, keep your goals in sight. Keep reaching and pushing to your highest heights. Cause your mind travels faster than the speed of light. You're bright, 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 bright. So don't be afraid to shine your light. Hey, boys and girls, don't you know that you're like diamonds and pearls? Hey, boys and girls, one day you're gonna rule the world. Hey, boys and girls, don't you know that you're like diamonds and pearls? Hey, boys and girls, one day you're gonna rule the world.
The third day of Kwanzaa is Uima, which means collective work and responsibility. Uima means working together to build and maintain our communities together and making our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solving them together. You know what? It reminds me of a song. Let's get organized. Let's get organized. We've got to strategize how to get organized. We can't operate till we cooperate. Let's get organized. Let's get organized. We have several museum objects all over the Reginald F. Museum that represent Uima when we speak about helping our community to solve its problems. Here we see a uniform belonging to some of the first African American firefighters in Maryland. Did you know that the Chapel Oak Volunteer Fire Department in Prince George's County, Maryland was formed because of the concerned citizens that lived in the community? Just imagine this. A great fire came and burned down a house with a family inside because the fire department that was in the community turned away the family and wouldn't give them service because of the color of their skin. Well, that meant that they couldn't arrive on time, and as a result, there was tragedy. But guess what? Our community turned a tragedy into a triumph. The citizens from the Chapel Oak community decided to start their own volunteer black fire department to help their fires to get put out. And in the community, the volunteer fire department still works today in Chapel Oaks and the Deanwood community. That community is on fire for real. So let me ask you something. What's a problem that you have had or in your school or in your neighborhood? And I want you to think about how can you work together with your community to solve it. Don't forget to get organized. Wow, we're halfway through Kwanzaa. What do we celebrate on the fourth day? On the fourth day, we celebrate Ujamaa, which means cooperative economics. Money, 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 money. Ujamaa cooperative economics means to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. On this day, we make sure that we are supporting Black-owned businesses. And speaking of a Black-owned business, what do you see in this drawing? Take a deep look. This drawing by Ruth Stark Rose shows a young man with a large piece of cloth that he appears to be sewing. And I also see some work tools and a photo of an older man. This area that we're talking about over here is a tribute to sailmaker Downs Curtis. Downs Curtis ran a sail-making shop in Oxford, Maryland for more than 50 years. He picked up the craft of sail making as a boy when he just needed a sail for a small racing boat. Well, he talked to a local sail maker named Dave Pritchard, and he talked him into making one. Well, Curtis agreed to work for Pritchard to create the sail loft to pay off the debt, and guess what? He never stopped. So you know what? You can create a business right now. You don't have to wait till you get older. You can create a business right now with something that you're really good at. Think about when you're creating a business. Businesses solve problems. What's a problem that needs to be solved that you could probably help to make into a business? Or maybe it's just something you're really, really good at. So when you go shopping this holiday, I want you, or even just throughout the year, I want you to think about Black and brown-owned businesses you can support to keep the money and the community circulating 365 days of the year. On this fifth day, we celebrate Nia. Nia means purpose. And on this day, we make sure that our collective vocation is the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. And on this day, it's a day where people make vision boards and they think about their resolutions for the future and 3 important questions, which is, who am I? Am I really who I say I am? And am I all that I ought to be? Hey, think about it again. Am I really who I say I am? Am I all that I ought to be? Am I really who I say I am? Am I all that I ought to be? When you look at these images, what do you see? Take a deep look. I see a group of women dressed in what looks like religious uniforms, and I also see a school building from the past. Well, these powerful women, these purposeful women, are the Oblate Sisters of Providence under the direction of the Queen, Mother Mary Lane, who created this religious women's group founded in Baltimore, Maryland in the 1800s. Under the powerful and purposeful Mother Mary Lane, she made sure that there was a school called St. Francis Academy for Black women and their children so that they could be educated too. So, hey, here's a Kwanzaa principle takeaway for you. I want you to think of a purpose that you might want to accomplish next year and maybe in the future. It could be something fun or important or maybe even something that's a lot to accomplish. What I want you to do is to think, who am I? Am I really who I say I am? And am I all that I ought to be? And whatever the answers are to those questions, I want you to work this year, working on your Nia to make sure that you are walking in your purpose. On the 6th day of Kwanzaa, we celebrate Kumba, which means, creativity to keep our people strong. And this means that we do all that we can, as much as we can, in any way that we can, in order to leave our community more beautiful than we inherited it. And that's both of our favorite principles.
That's right.
Because that means that we get to make art. And, you know, Maryland is full of famous Black musicians who changed the music scene forever. Many of these artists use their creativity to perform jazz music in a Black neighborhood called Pennsylvania Avenue. Can you hear the sounds? Listen. The theaters, such as the Royal Theater, and clubs where music and singers will perform and dance. Many of these Maryland jazz artists will become famous and travel around the world, but they got their start right here in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes.
People like drummer Chick Webb and band leader Cab Calloway, Heidi Ho, and singer Billie Holiday, and even pianist Eubie Blake. Yes. Amazing. You know, all of these artists use their creativity to express themselves. They use their kuumba. And I want to challenge you to use your kuumba right now.
Okay.
So which artist are we going to celebrate?
How about Chick Webb, because he was a drummer.
Oh, that's a great
Just
job.
like me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here we go. Challenge. I think it's your time to make up a song.
Okay. You were a little short, but I'm gonna give you some grace on that one.
Ow, my thighs are hurting. Wow, we made it to the 7th day of Kwanzaa. Imani means faith. And on this day, we celebrate making sure that we believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our leaders, our teachers, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. We are looking in our last artwork of the collection. What do you see? Take a deep look. I see an image of Harriet Tubman. And you know Harriet Tubman, our Black Moses, is the famous conductor of the Underground Railroad. She helped many Black people who were enslaved all over Maryland to get their freedom, and that was dangerous work for her to do. But she sure had courage, and Harriet didn't let any fear stop her from getting caught or from helping her people. This reminds me of a great poem by Eloise Greenfield that says, Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing either. Didn't come in this world to be no slave and wasn't gonna stay one either. Farewell, she sang to her friends one night. She was mighty scared to leave them, but she kept on running that dark hot night, came looking for her freedom. Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing either. Didn't come in this world to be no slave and wasn't gonna stay one either. And didn't stay one either. Yes, she had faith and she believed in all her heart that each trip she took on the Underground Railroad would be successful. And she never lost one of her passengers. You know, it's very important to believe in yourself, the people you care about, and your community. So, on this last day of Kwanzaa, as we think about the new year, what are you believing for? And who do you believe in? And who believes in you? Well, here at the Reginald Lewis Museum, we have faith in you and we believe in you, and we're hoping that you have a wonderful Kwanzaa and that you'll celebrate today, tomorrow, and bring Kwanzaa into your life from now until forever. Happy Kwanzaa, everyone. We wish you a happy holiday, and we want you to visit the Reginald F. Lewis Museum to see more museum objects and artwork about Maryland's African American history and culture. Okay, you learned the song at the beginning, and it's time for you to do it with us now. We're gonna close out with our Kwanzaa song. Are you ready? 1, 2, here we go. Habari gani, what's the news? The Kwanzaa spirit lives in you. Umoja, Ujima, Kumba, and Nia. Ujama, Imani, and Kujijakalia. With these 7 principles combined, we are the spirit of Kwanzaa time. Harambe, Harambe, let's pull together. Say it 7 times to make our world better. Harambe, 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 Harambe! Hey, happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. Celebrate Kwanzaa, I want you to remember these principles we live by to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa, I want you to remember these principles we live by to keep our people strong. Umoja, Umoja, I want you to remember. Umoja means unity to keep our people strong. Kujijakalia, I want you to remember. Self-determination to keep our people strong. Ujima, Ujima, I want you to remember. Collective work, responsibility. Ujama, Ujama, I want you to remember. Cooperative economics to keep our people strong. Nia, Nia, I want you to remember. Nia means purpose to keep our people strong. Kumba, Kumba, I want you to remember. Creativity to keep our people strong. Imani, Imani, I want you to remember. Imani means faith to keep our people strong. Celebrate Kwanzaa, I want you to remember these principles we live by to keep our people strong.